Hi, I'm Guru Lakshmi, a senior pricing consultant at Monitor. So we do pricing consulting for SaaS and software companies. In this series, I'm going to be reviewing pricing pages from consultant standpoint, helping you not just understand how a company charges, but also how their pricing supports or hinders their growth strategy. Today, we're going to be analyzing Pendo's pricing page. But before we dive in, I have this 3-step framework that I go through to analyze a pricing structure. So I would like to quickly walk you through that framework. So I analyze pricing across 3 core dimensions: packaging, value metric, and price point. Together, these shape the strategic narrative of how a company monetizes its value. Before we look at the pricing page, it's important to understand Pendo's context, where it stands in the market and where it stands in terms of revenue. They're currently operating at around $200 million in ARR, growing at approximately 20% year on year in the highly competitive software experience management space. They compete with the names like Amplitude, Heap, Mixpanel, Gainsight, and several others. So given their scale, we would expect their pricing to drive both sales efficiency and expansion by reducing friction through packaging that enables clear upsell paths and greater customer self-serve. However, our analysis suggests that Pendo's current packaging structure is limiting their ability to drive upsell and expand ARR, especially their SMB tiers that lack differentiated value and the enterprise tiers that don't signal premiumness as much as we would expect. Let me explain what I mean by that. Now, when you look at Pendo's pricing page, they offer 5 plans starting from free to enterprise. But when you zoom in on the core and the base tiers, the only meaningful distinction is the session replace feature. So to understand its significance in this space, I ran a competitor feature mapping. Some of its competitors offer session replace in their free plans, while some bundle it across all of their tiers, and some treat it as a paid add-on for their mid-market and enterprise plan. But not a single one of them depends on this feature as a sole driver for tier separation. So this tells us that this feature alone doesn't create enough perceived value to justify an upgrade. So from a consultant's perspective, if having stronger upsell paths is an objective, we recommend consolidating base and core tiers into a single, more robust SMB tier to reduce complexity and to improve upgrade motivation. Next, looking at the Pulse and Ultimate, there's stronger differentiation between them in terms of in-app guides, data synchronization, and journey orchestration. But Ultimate still falls short of what we would expect from a true enterprise. So in this industry, enterprise-grade tiers are usually elevated through advanced security, compliance, and support features. However, Pendo offers similar security and support capabilities across all its paid tiers, which diminishes the perceived value of a. So to fix this, we recommend introducing priority support, professional services, and advanced security compliance capabilities to establish Ultimate as a premium, high-value offering it should be. Now moving on to the next step in my framework, value metric. So Pendo uses monthly active users as their metric. MAUs track the total number of unique users that interacted with the platform within the past 30 days. Some of their competitors use MAUs, while some lean on towards events or session-based metrics. The right metric should strike a balance between both customers' perceived value and the company's cost structure. In our assessment, MAU is a strong metric match for this kind of model because it scales with the number of users benefiting from these capabilities, aligning customer costs with the platform's delivered value, and it also kind of offers predictable billing, which the customers appreciate. In contrast, usage-based metrics like events or sessions can create volatile costs for customers, which results in customers limiting their usage artificially to reduce their costs, which might be counterproductive for both product engagement and revenue growth. In our view, MAUs strike the right balance for Pendo, and their wide acceptance across the industry reinforces this decision. Finally, looking at the price point, the last step in my framework, So Pendo does not display public pricing for any of its paid tiers, only the free plan supports self-serve. In a space this competitive, it kind of stands out because competitors like Amplitude, UserPilot, and ActQs publish transparent SME pricing, typically ranging between $50 to $150 per thousand MEQs a month. While the mid-market and enterprise deals are usually custom priced in this industry. So having transparent entry-level pricing helps with customer onboarding, self-serve adoption, and improve sales efficiency, particularly for companies with stronger presence in SMB and mid-market segment. To validate this, I looked at G2's reviewer segmentation, which places Pendo's customer mix at 18.5% SMB enterprise and 63% mid-market. This supports our hypothesis that there's real opportunity in improving pricing transparency in the SMB segmentation. From our experience, this not just helps with customer conversion, but also increases product-led growth potential. So we suggest that any further changes to this current pricing setting should be guided by greater understanding of customer segmentation and a market research to understand the willingness to pay of customers across different segments through conjoint analysis, one Western drop studies, or in-person interviews. That's the end of Pendo's pricing page. To quickly recap, Pendo has a strong market position and a product that competes well in a highly competitive category. For the growth stage that they are in, if they're focusing on improving sales efficiency and having stronger upsell motions, then their packaging needs more simplification and the price tier needs more premiumness, while their pricing structure could benefit from having more transparency at the lower end. This analysis is based solely on publicly available data. No internal insights or assumptions were made. Every recommendation made here today is reflective of a consultant's perspective, derived solely from externally facing content and standard market benchmarking practice. That's the breakdown for this week. I'll be back next week with another interesting deep dive. Thanks for watching.